Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Now, the question I want to ask today is, why does the Prime Minister's office handle so many funds? The Prime Minister National Relief Fund, the Prime Minister's Defence Fund, the Prime Minister Cares, PM Care. 3 funds handled by one office. What is the need of PM Cares? That's the question we asked today, and we also try to deep dive into what PM Cares is versus what Prime Minister's National Relief Fund is. So let's understand that clearly. Let's get right into the show. Our story today starts with the fact that chief ministers of various states, especially states which are not governed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, chief ministers of these states are very upset. They are upset because the funds given to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund, especially for COVID-19, does not come under the CSR Act. Funds given to the PM Cares comes under the CSR Act. They say if it doesn't come under the CSR Act, the chief ministers, they say, who will give me money? People will run. Ambanis are running to PM Care. Akshay Kumar is running to PM Cares. They are all giving it to PM Cares. Who will come to us? Who will give us money then? Okay. What is CSR Act? CSR Act is an act that was introduced in India, and possibly India is the first country to introduce such an act in the year 2013-14. This act says that companies with certain turnover has to contribute 2% of their profits to CSR. Compulsorily. No choice and all that. Compulsorily you have to give. This is CSR Acts. Now, a state like Maharashtra, where there are huge companies, in fact, most of the companies are headquartered out of Maharashtra. If they give the money to Maharashtra state government, no CSR. If they give the money to Prime Minister's fund, it becomes part of the CSR. So it becomes part of that 2% which they are mandatory to give. Now, the $1 million question. Why does the Prime Minister's office handle 3 funds? No Prime Minister of India has ever handled 3 funds. There was something called as Prime Minister's National Relief Fund right from 1948, which was handled by the Prime Minister and Prime Minister's office. Except for that, they didn't have 10 funds with the Prime Minister. Why does the Prime Minister needs 3 funds? This Prime Minister, our good Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has 3 funds that he handles. Fund number 1 is, of course, the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. Fund number 2 is something called as PM Defence Fund. And fund number 3 is the latest PM Cares. Now, let us first understand and figure out why must have Mr. Modi designed PM Cares. Let us try and figure that out. Now, the question generally asked is, you have Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. Say, Prime Minister's Defence Fund, छोड़ दो, उसको side में रखते हैं. Let us not talk about Defence Fund at the moment. Let us talk about 2 funds which are absolutely similar. The Prime Minister's National Relief Fund and the Prime Minister Cares. Now, let us first discuss Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. Prime Minister's National Relief Fund was introduced by Sri Jawaharlal Nehru. So, yes, it's another Nehru introduction in the year 1948. And according to Prime Minister's Relief Fund, the members, the trustees of Prime Minister's Relief Funds includes the committee. It's not called trustee. The committee of Prime Minister's Relief Fund includes the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, if any, the President of Indian National Congress, not the opposition president, not the leader of the opposition, the President of Indian National Congress is part of the committee of the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. The Finance Minister, part of the committee of Prime Minister's Relief Fund. The representative of Tata Trustee. Why Tata Trust? Tata Trust is because Tata Trust is the oldest trust in India, 1892, established in 1892 by Jamshedji Tata. So Tata Trust, and possibly the name Tata is possibly the most trusted name in India. So therefore Tata Trust. And a member of Industry and Commerce chosen by the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce. This committee would take decision as to where would they disburse the money that they collected from various corporates, peoples, individuals, so on and so forth. Where would they disperse this money? The committee would decide. In 1985, during Rajiv Gandhi's time, things changed. In 1985, the disbursement out of the fund is made at the discretion of the Prime Minister and in accordance with the Prime Minister's direction. The fund has been functioning under the discretion and the direction of the Prime Minister since 1985, when the committee entrusted the entire fund to the Prime Ministers. So the committee decided in 1985, this entire committee, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Indian National Congress President, vagare, all of them decided, Baba, now we don't want to handle anything. Everything will be the discretion of the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister of India will handle this fund and will direct this fund as a single authority. Okay. Now, PM Cares has most of these people, but minus the Indian National Congress President. Now, I will tell you who are the committee members of PM Cares. The committee members of PM Care includes the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, the Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of Defence. Further, the Prime Minister can nominate 3 experts to the Committee of Trustees. Now, in PM Cares, no Tatas. The committee member, the 3 committee members that I spoke about, can be handpicked by our good Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, as per his will. A lot of questions are asked, bhai, if Narendra Modi is not the Prime Minister tomorrow, will he still remain in the trust? No, he won't, because it is ex officio member. Ex officio member means you are sitting in the trust because you are the Prime Minister of India. The day you are not the Prime Minister of India, you are not part of the trust. The new Prime Minister of India, whoever he or she is, will be part of the trust. So that is how this particular trust is made. PM Cares does not have such clause where you have a BJP president sitting there in the committee, regardless whichever party is in power. That clause is not there. Secondly, the entire power discretion is not with the Prime Minister. So this is how these 2 funds are placed. But PM Relief Fund, the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund, comes under the RTI, and people will know how the funds are distributed, because obviously there are opposition guys. If there's a Congress president, that person will tell where the funds are being distributed, though the discretion is completely with the Prime Minister. In PM Cares, one is not very clear whether PM Cares can come under the RTI or not. To the best of my information, I underline this, to the best of my information, PM Cares does not come under RTI, but this is to the best of my information. So this is the good and the bad of Prime Minister's Relief Fund. Now this is where it is placed. Come to think of it, both funds, by the looks of it, have their own flaws. The worry that most of the people in India have is, we have seen instances where states like Kerala has not been given the kind of money that state required after the floods, that the state even today requires to fight COVID. Would this continue with PM Cares? Because now, of course, nobody even knows. There is no transparency. Secondly, the question that the Chief Ministers ask, who is going to put money into Chief Minister's Relief Fund if there is a PM Cares that is there in the center, where the money that you donate is considered to be your CSR fund? Who will give a CM then? Thirdly, which everybody asks, PM Cares is marketed beautifully like most of our good Prime Minister's efforts, whereas the rest of the Chief Ministers are waiting. This is the story of PM Cares. Till we see you next time. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.